Hey guys, it's Christina of CraftyPaws. I wanted to come on and share a couple of projects that I made using this beautiful Diamond Dies Deer Trio die. I just think this die is so versatile. I just thought this would be perfect for Father's Day for a little family, or it could even be for a wedding if you just included the doe and the stag. Or it could be even used for a new baby if you included the little fawn. And anyway, before I go too far into this, I wanted to let you know that Diamond Dies is having a flash sale. If you make a purchase of $99 or more this weekend, that's May 16th and 17th, 2015, and you use the coupon code SAVE25, you'll get 25% off your entire order and free worldwide shipping. So that's if your purchase is $99 or more. It is an amazing deal. But if you're making a purchase that's less than $99, you can use my normal coupon code, which is Thanks Christina with a K, and get 10% off your entire order and free shipping of any orders of $35 or more. That in mind, let me share with you guys my little quick projects. This first one I did, this is for Father's Day. I made the little fawn and the doe in one kind of wood veneer. That's this one. And by the way, this wood grain paper that I got was from Candace Scarborough and her Zibbet store, One Life Creations. I'll put a link in the description box, not only to Diamond Dies, but also to Candace's Zibbet store, so you guys can pick up these beautiful wood grain papers. She carries them in multiple colors. I'll show you a couple more, but I mean, this is the easiest card ever, and it looks so luxe. I cut out the stag in this dark kind of mahogany paper, and I cut out the little fawn and the doe with this kind of medium grain, kind of a walnut color, and die cut all three, then cut out the little pieces and inlaid them. So if you run your finger over top of it, it's all, one layer. And then of course I pop the whole thing up on a foam backing. And then I put it on a cardstock, a craft cardstock base. Super, super easy. I mean, I think this took me 15 minutes tops. Amazing. And it looks so beautiful. And then the next one I did, I thought I would include just the stag and the doe and put that on this color wood grain paper. And then I used the die cuts from this background cutout. I used it right on top of there. And then I backed the whole thing up on this corrugated cardstock that has like a diagonal print to it in this kind of honey color. And I thought that went really well with the honey colors in the grain of this wood paper. It was gifted to me by New Crafter Bev. And then I put it on white cardstock as the base and just inked the edges with Tim Holtz Distress ink. I inked the white paper, the cardstock base with antique linen, and I inked the edges of this mid-tone wood grain with vintage photo, just to set it off a little bit from this patterned corrugated paper. Again, this took me, say, maybe 10 minutes. And then lastly, I did this watercolor, and again, I die cut out the stag, the doe, and the fawn, and then I just had some fun with my really inexpensive watercolor from Tuesday morning that I picked up for $2, and I'm going to attach that video here. I started with Strathmore 140-pound watercolor paper, and I die cut out the 3 deer. Then I wet the paper down with that mister that you just saw that had just water in it, and I am just now playing with the watercolors. You see, I'm also holding a little paper towel there just to mop up any excess. I'm trying to get in some darker, richer colors, but I also don't want pooling like that. Some people tape down their watercolor paper before they start painting, but I actually, in this case, like just being able to hold it, pick it up, and turn it into different angles. I'm also letting the water do a lot of the work of the blending between the two colors. You can see that particularly between the red and the blue, it's kind of turning purpley right there. Now you'll see that My water in my little shot glass there is clean again because every time I do a full color spectrum from light to dark, I go back and change the water out because I don't want to muddy up the watercolors. To get deeper colors, you kind of have to put layer after layer of watercolor on and let the first layers dry before you keep adding. If you don't do that, then the colors tend to get more muddy, and after a while the paper will actually start to pill up. So it's best to kind of take your time or use a heat tool to dry in between coats. And you see here I've gone again and cleaned out my water for a third time, and I'm just trying to get the different colors of the sky to blend a little bit more so that it looks less like stripes and more kind of graduated color changes. I'm creating a purple there, just mixing the red and the blue together so I can get a kind of deeper purple in between where the red transitions to the blue. And it's a very loose brush stroke. I'm just kind of wiggling my hand as I go back and forth across. I'm doing this at 4 times actual speed just because I didn't want the video to get too long. This isn't really a tutorial anyway, it's more like a process. In this case, you saw that I left the water still a little bit dirty, and that's really because, again, I'm just trying to get the color gradation down. And in this case, the muddiness there between the orange and the yellow actually helps me. Here you see the 3 die-cut deer, and I am painting these just plain black. I wanted it to be as dark as possible, but still maintain that watercolored look. That's why I didn't cut this out of like black cardstock. I wanted it to be almost seamless between the ground that I had painted and these deer. And the only way you can do that is by really using the same materials, the same, watercolor paper and the same watercolor. And here you see I'm actually being careful to color all around the edges as well. I'm using Aleene's Original Tacky Glue to go all around the die cut out deer. And I'm making sure I'm getting into all the crevices there so that it really gets adhered well to that base piece of cardstock. I also just use my ATG gun to glue down the rest of the base paper. Here I'm using more of the wet glue to inset each of the deer, and because I'm afraid of transfer of color, I'm using another piece of paper to kind of make sure I burnish that in with my hand. But I've got so much stuff on my hands that I'm using that little scrap of white paper. And again, I'm just trying to make sure I get all the little tiny pieces, the antlers, the really skinny legs, and get those all glued up so that they are firmly in place. And that's it. Don't forget, if you're going to make a purchase at Diemond Dies this weekend and the total is $99 or more, use the coupon code SAVE25 for 25% off your entire order plus free shipping. If your purchase is less than $99 but $35 or more, go ahead and use my coupon code Thanks Christina for 10% off your order and free worldwide shipping. If you enjoyed this process video, please give it a thumbs up. Thanks for watching. Hope you're having a wonderful crafty day.